Don't stop. I need this. The giant male order bride cried as the cowboy held her inside his candlelit cabin. Don't stop. I need this. That's what the giant mail order bride cried as the cowboy held her inside his candlelit cabin. And in that moment, sitting together on the bed, surrounded by flickering candles, everything she'd been holding inside for 26 years finally broke free. Temperance, Whitfield, a giant mail order bride with broad shoulders and strong arms that had carried everyone else's burdens, sat on the edge of his bed in the warm glow of candlelight, tears streaming down her face. She'd never let anyone see her like this, vulnerable, breaking, raw. But the cowboy, August Brennan, widower and rancher who understood the weight of silent suffering, sat beside her inside his candlelit cabin, his hand gentle on her shoulder, his presence steady as she fell apart. He didn't tell her to stop crying, didn't tell her to be strong. He just stayed. And when the giant male order bride felt him start to pull away, afraid he'd given her enough time, afraid she needed space, panic seized her chest. She grabbed his hand and cried desperately, "Don't stop! I need this." Because for the first time in her life, someone was witnessing her pain without asking her to carry it alone. The cowboy held her inside his candlelit cabin, not with passion, but with something deeper. Permission. Permission to finally be weak, permission to be held, permission to need someone. But what had this giant mail order bride been carrying that made a simple touch on the shoulder inside his candlelit cabin feel like salvation? Why had 3 days of trying to prove her worth finally broken her? And what would happen when the cowboy discovered that she'd never, not once, been told she was allowed to rest? What happened inside that candlelit cabin would change them both forever. But first, you need to understand the 3 days that led to this breaking point. 3 days earlier, Temperance had stepped off the stagecoach in Montana Territory with calloused hands, a worn carpet bag, and a heart that had forgotten how to hope. She was 26 years old, and she'd been strong for every single one of those years. Strong when her mother died. And she became mother to 5 younger siblings at age 14, strong when her father broke his back and she ran the farm alone at 16, strong when the bank took everything and scattered her. Siblings to relatives who didn't want the tall, unfeminine oldest daughter. Strong, always strong, because that's what people needed from her. August Brennan stood waiting by his fence, hat in hand, watching her approach. He was 33, lean from hard work, with eyes that had seen too much loss. His wife had died 2 years ago from fever. He knew what it looked like when someone was drowning on dry land, and Temperance was drowning. "Miss Whitfield," he said, his voice quiet but warm. "Welcome. I'm August Brennan, Mr. Brennan." She shook his hand with a grip that made him wabuse slightly. "Thank you for the opportunity. I know I'm not what most men want in a wife, but I promise you won't regret this. I can work harder than any man, I can." "Let's get you inside first," August interrupted gently. "You've traveled a long way," but Temperance didn't want to rest. Rest meant thinking. Thinking meant feeling, and feeling meant breaking, so instead she worked. For 3 days, she worked like a woman possessed, up before dawn, chopping wood until her hands bled, reorganizing his barn, mending every fence, scrubbing floors that were already clean, cooking meals big enough to feed a crew when there were only 2 of them. August watched her with growing concern. He didn't need a workhorse. He needed a partner. But every time he suggested she slow down, she found another task, another way to prove her worth, another reason he shouldn't send her back. She never sat, never rested, never stopped moving. By the 3rd evening, her body was shaking from exhaustion. Her hands were raw and bleeding. Her eyes were hollow. But still she moved, lighting candles around the cabin as a winter storm gathered outside. Preparing yet another massive supper, August couldn't watch anymore. "Temperance," he said quietly from his chair. "Stop!" She froze apart halfway to the stove. "I'm almost done. Just need to stop." His voice was firmer now, not angry, concerned. "Please just stop for a moment." She set the pot down with trembling hands. "Did I do something wrong? I can fix whatever. Come here." He gestured to the chair across from him. Temperance's heart hammered. This was it. He was going to tell her she was too much, too big, too masculine, too exhausting. She'd heard it before. She could handle hearing it again. She sat stiffly in the chair, hands clenched in her lap, waiting for the rejection. Instead, August leaned forward and asked the question that would break her temperance. "When was the last time you rested?" The words hit her like a physical blow. She opened her mouth to answer. Closed it, tried again. Nothing came. "When was the last time," August continued softly, "that someone asked if you were tired, if you needed help, if you were okay?" Temperance's throat closed, her vision blurred. You don't remember." August's voice was gentle but devastated. "Do you?" And that's when the first crack appeared in her arm. A single tear slid down her cheek. She wiped it away furiously. "I'm sorry. I don't know why don't apologize." August stood and crossed to her. "Please don't apologize for being human. But I'm supposed to be strong. I'm always supposed to be." Her voice broke completely. August knelt in front of her chair, looking up at her towering frame. "You've been strong for everyone else your whole life, haven't you? You've held everyone up, carried everyone's weight, never complained, never asked for help, never let anyone see you struggle." Temperance couldn't speak, could only nod as tears streamed faster. "Then let me be strong for you now," August said. "Just for tonight. Let me carry you for once." "I don't know how," she whispered. "I don't know how to not be strong." "Then I'll teach you." He took her bleeding hands in his. "Starting right now. Come with me." He led her to his bedroom, where candles already burned on every surface. He'd prepared this while she cooked, creating a space of warmth and softness. The storm howled outside. Inside, the candlelight danced across wooden walls, creating shadows that felt like safety. August guided her to sit on the edge of the bed. Then he pulled up a chair and sat facing her, close enough to touch but not crowding. "I'm going to ask you something," he said quietly, "and I need you to answer honestly. Can you do that?" Temperance nodded, unable to trust her voice. "What do you need right now? Not what you think you should need. Not what you think I want to hear. What do you actually need?" And that question, that simple, devastating question, shattered the last of her defenses. Her face crumpled. Her broad shoulders shook. A sound came from deep in her chest. Something between a sob and a gasp, like she'd been holding her breath for years. And finally could exhale. "I need," the word stuck in her throat. "I need someone to hold me. I need to not be strong. I need," she covered her face with her bleeding hands. "I'm so tired. I'm so tired of holding everything together. I'm so tired of being the one everyone leans on. I'm so tired." August moved from the chair to sit beside her on the bed. Slowly, carefully, he reached out and placed his hand on her shoulder. That gentle touch, that simple, tender contact was her undoing. Temperance turned and collapsed against him, her tall frame folding into his arms as sobs tore through her body. 26 years of unshed tears. 26 years of carrying weight no one should carry alone. 26 years of being strong when what she needed was to be held, and August held her. His arms wrapped around her broad shoulders. His hand cradled the back of her head. His body steady as she shook with grief and exhaustion, and relief so overwhelming she thought it might kill her. When she felt him shift just slightly, maybe to adjust his position, panic shot through her. She grabbed his shirt with both fists and cried out desperately, "Don't stop! I need this!" August froze at the desperation in her voice. Then his arms tightened around her, pulling her closer instead of letting go. "I'm not stopping," he murmured against her hair. "I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here, Temperance. I'm right here." She sobbed harder, her fingers still clutching his shirt like it was the only thing keeping her from drowning. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't be like this. I should be stronger. I should know." August's voice was firm but gentle. He pulled back just enough to cup her face in his hands, forcing her to look at him. His thumbs wiped away her tears even as new ones fell. "No more shoulds. No more apologizing for being human. You've been strong enough. You've been strong for everyone else. Now it's time to let someone be strong for you." "But I'm too big," Temperance whispered, her voice breaking. "I'm too tall, too strong, too much. Men don't want to hold women like me. They want someone they can protect, someone delicate, someone real," August interrupted. "Someone honest, someone brave enough to admit when they're hurting." His eyes held hers, brown and warm in the candlelight. "That's you, Temperance. That's exactly you. You don't understand." She tried to pull away, but he wouldn't let her. My whole life I've been too much. Too big for pretty dresses. Too strong for men to feel needed. Too capable to deserve tenderness. My own father used to say I was built for work, not for loving. August's jaw tightened with anger. Not at her, but at every person who'd made her believe that lie. Your father was wrong, was he? Temperance's voice was bitter. Look at me, I'm 6 feet tall. I can lift as much as most men. I have calluses on my